it's Elisa, or the Diamond Stitcher as I go by on YouTube and Instagram. Hello, good morning or good afternoon, whatever time it is you are watching this video. I hope you are having a wonderful day. It is early morning for me. What day of the week is it? I think it's a Friday. My days all mesh into one. Anyways, if you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm happy you are here. I hope you would consider subscribing and sticking around for all things diamond painting. I try and post 3 videos a week while I still can, and I'd love to have you. At some point in this video, actually, I will be doing a giveaway to celebrate 1,000 or reaching 1,000 YouTube subscribers. It's a common milestone that YouTube creators like to celebrate. My main milestone was 500 subscribers, so I'm super happy to have reached all the way up to 1,000. And I'm super grateful for everybody's support, everybody who shared my content with friends, family, or whoever you think might take away from it. And those who like every video and comment on every video, all of that really helps a YouTube channel be successful. So I'm really, really grateful. And I would like to do a giveaway or two. So stay tuned. Later in this video, what I'll do is I'll give a keyword that you have to use in a comment on this video to pull the winner. So more on that later. At some point, I'll just start talking about it. So stay tuned for that. Anyways, it's been a while since I filmed the Wip and Chat. I kind of don't know where to start. I think the last time I actually sat down and filmed a kind of normal Wip and Chat was mid-June. And right now we are end of July, so it's been quite a long time. I did film the last Wip and Chat I posted was answering those tag questions that have been going around on YouTube. But other than that, an actual kind of life update or thoughts and feelings, it's been quite a while. And that's because I haven't been feeling good. But before we get into that, what I'm working on is this. It's Benedict Blue by the artist Catalina Estrada, and it's from Diamond Art Club. It's a square diamond painting. It's 50 by 75 centimeters, 52 colors. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 ABs, 1 fairy dust diamond, and there's 6 bags of that fairy dust diamond, and I'll show you it in a minute. And I've also added a lot of crystals to this one. You can kind of see it a little bit. The sun's coming through the window here, but like here I've added a bunch of crystals all in the bird's feathers. There's crystals everywhere. At the end of the video, I will put this flat on the table and I'll kind of show you all of the crystals that I've added. And I've added a couple glitter drills. I don't have as many glitter drills as I would like, so there's not many. I mostly have crystals. Here are the fairy dust diamonds that come with this kit. There are 6 bags. It's a white fairy dust diamond. And if you didn't know, fairy dust diamonds are relatively new to Diamond Art Club. They are a special drill they developed. It has a very subtle, fine, shiny, glittery coating. It's not like normal glitter drills like the ones I've used in the canvas that I've added on. This is different. This is fancy. That's what I call it. It's just fancy. It's almost looks like mica powder to me. And it just is really pretty. All of the white in this canvas is this fairy dust drill, and you can kind of see based on this picture, all of the outline is all white. So there's tons of this fairy dust diamond. Also, this is a cool pen that I don't think I've posted the unboxing for it yet. No, I haven't, but this is the pen I've been using ever since I got it. As you can see, it's one of those fancy lava pens, and it has pink tourmaline stones in it and a bunch of pink confetti. I absolutely love it. I need to get that unboxing video up where I go over where I got this from and how to order if you want to order, but this is my new favorite pen. I also love Diamond Art Club's new they're thin metal multi-placers. They work amazing. They're a little more precise, I find, on placing, especially these square diamonds. I'm finding this square canvas going a lot better than my last one. With my last one, I found that, it was really hard for me to complete because I had to really force the diamonds into place, almost like they were too tight. But this one, it's going different. They're gliding together so smoothly, not much force at all, and I'm loving it. I actually thought for a while there I would have to give up squares due to the nerve damage and weakness in my arm, that last square canvas I worked on was really, really hard for me to do. So I thought that would be my last square, but when this diamond painting come out, I had to get it. I knew I wanted to bling it up a lot, and I'm really happy that I don't think it was a grid problem in the last one. I think it was a placement problem. And I'm finding with this multi-placer, it just grabs the diamond, because it's thin, it grabs the diamonds a little more kind of precise, and they don't move around, and they place really nicely. So super happy with that. Anyway, this tray also that I'm using is a resin tray from Shiny Shaza on Etsy. She's a UK-based shop. I absolutely love this tray. It's kind of translucent too, so when I do put it down on my light pad, you can really see the diamonds. So it's really nice if you are diamond painting at night to use this one. I'm kind of off camera a little bit. That's just the way that I'm set up here. I'm all the way on the left. So what I've done is I've worked it and across this entire row, and I just have the fairy dust diamonds left. So I'm gonna fill them in as I chat. That's another reason I think I haven't really been filming Whip and Chats, is because when I bling out canvases, it takes a little more concentration than normal for me. What I usually do, or what I've been doing for this canvas in particular, is taking the release papers off the entire row across, which is about 50 centimeters long, and then putting all the crystals or other fancy drills in place, and then filling in with the regular, and then filling in with the fairy dust. It's just easier for my brain. Previously, what I would do is I would still work by like one square at a time, one section, but for me, it was harder for my brain to comprehend where I was putting all those special diamonds. So this time, I found it a lot easier to open the whole row and work on the special diamonds the whole row across. That way everything is kind of equal. It's, what's the word I'm looking for? Like you can finish the entire element with those diamonds. So I just found it a little bit less difficult, less concentrating needed if I do it that way. So I'm really liking that. So that's something, a tip I'll take forward is to do, when I'm blinging out special diamonds, to work on bigger sections with that, and then fill in afterwards. I have found working on this canvas, it's worked really well. Okay, so I don't even know where to start, because I don't know where I left off the last time I kind of sat down and actually filmed the Whip and Chat. A lot has been going on, more so medically. I've been feeling really unwell. For me, it seems like when one health problem flares up, so flare up means temporary worsening of symptoms. When one condition does flare up, the others kind of all follow suit. And when they're all flared up at once, I am basically like bed rest. I don't do much. I can't do much. I can't function. So it's been really hard. I haven't been diamond painting as much as I normally like to either because of that. I've actually been playing a video game my husband got me into. He really likes the video games, Assassin's Creed. And I've watched him play hours and hours. I used to diamond paint while he played that game on his days off, the whole afternoon. But he suggested I try it because there were quite a few weeks there, you know, kind of early June till now, so almost 2 months, where diamond painting was really hard for me. One, I didn't feel I had the concentration to do it or the patience. My arm or my neck was really sore, so I couldn't put more than like 20 minutes in. And sometimes I thought, well, if it's only 20 minutes, what's the point? But that's another topic. Even 20 minutes of diamond painting, I find, provides a great stress relief and just calms the mind down, calms everything down. So if you're like me and you struggle and sometimes that's all you can do and you're just too frustrated to do it, I urge you to do it, because it does make a difference in the end. But it is hard. I had no energy. So end of June, I had a birthday. I turned, how old am I? I think I'm 34 now. I don't really pay attention to birthdays. I actually haven't since I was like 12, I think. I usually always would text my mom asking her how old I was. I would forget. Birthdays aren't something that I usually celebrate. It's just, I mean, personally, each year seems to bring more health problems. So I don't feel very celebratory, you know. I think too, my husband used to always say when my birthday came around, he goes, this year you're going to get better. This year life's going to get back on track. And every year it's not happened. So it's kind of like, don't get my expectations too high, right? It's just a number. But yeah, I had a birthday, and on my birthday, I actually got a nerve block done. And let me tell you, that nerve block is one of the best procedures I ever get. It's the second time I've had this specific nerve block, and it's called a intercostal nerve block. And what they do is they inject a steroid and freezing into the intercostal nerves between the ribs. So he did 5 of them. So on 5 levels, he did the nerve block. And let me tell you, I went from being in 10 out of 10 pain, not being able to breathe, not being able to move, kind of crying in the fetal position some nights and like inconsolable, like my husband would try to help massage and work the pain out and nothing would help. And that nerve block, I've had days where I almost would say I'm in like a 1 out of 10, which is huge. So of all of the procedures I get, that one has been amazing. It's just, if I had to pay for it, I would pay for it. Pay for it because that's how amazing it is. I'm allowed to get it every 3 months or so. The problem is I had surgery April 4th, so that delayed this second procedure. So it had worn off, and that's why I was in so much pain. But that's the majority of why I was so quiet during June, is because I was in so much pain. It's something I can't describe. I try to, and what it feels like is that there's like a serrated steak knife stuck between my ribs on my side. And all day long, it's like somebody is sawing it back and forth all day long, constantly. And it's just horrendous. And I can't breathe because the active breathing makes that worse. So my breathing was very restricted. My oxygen levels were kind of low 90s, which for me isn't good. And that reminds me, actually, we went to the kind of tangent here. We went to the lake. I don't know if I mentioned this in the last one. We went to a local lake that's about an hour and a half away, and we have to scale like a small hill in order to get to the spot that we like to set up at. And like it literally is just a hill. And I brought my oximeter, which tests your oxygen levels, because I was curious what my oxygen would do if I exert myself like that. And my heart rate shot up, even though I'm on a medication to stop my heart rate from doing that. And my oxygen level dropped to 85, which is too low for somebody without lung disease. That's like extremely low. And it took a couple minutes to recover from that, which, is also odd. We do think I still have a paralyzed diaphragm or partially paralyzed diaphragm, which could be the reason. Now, did I have my nerve block yet? I don't think I had the nerve block yet. No, I don't think so. I think we went to the lake before that, so it was also very painful. But yeah, my oxygen levels were low and that. But since the nerve block, the pain is like night and day difference, and my breathing is a lot easier. I don't feel so short of breath, which means I've been able to be more active as well. I have to make sure that they don't let me go late with that. I have to make sure, like he said, it can be done every 3 months. I can't. That has to, I think, be priority over everything else, because that really affects my health, my pain levels, and my just ability to function as a normal human being. So that was June. That was in end of June, so July, August. So end of September is when I'll be able to get it again. And I talked to that doctor in August, and I'm going to make sure that he like orders it now so that they can book me for that time. So I'm not late, because man, that kind of pain that I get when that wears off, it would send most people to the hospital, you know. It's just awful, awful, awful. And I think I kind of have like, I know I do, because I get kind of almost like a panic attack sometimes. When I feel it wearing off and I feel that pain start coming, I kind of panic, because I know how bad it's going to get, and a little bit of kind of PTSD symptoms, you know. Medical PTSD is a thing, and can be very bad. And yeah, I really noticed at this time that it really affected my mental health as well. I kind of took a few notes here because it's been so long. So nerve block. And then I also had that procedure that I've talked about before, where they blasted scar tissue with sugar water. I think it might have helped. When did they do it again? I think that was end of June as well. I think that was June 28th that I got that done. And I think it did help. Now, it's kind of too early to tell, but out of the last 2 years, I've had the most pain relief since that procedure. That being said, I did have the nerve block kind of really close to it too. So could be a combination of both, or it could just be the nerve block. I don't know. But I'm going to have that procedure done again in October. I did follow up with my surgeon, and he wants me to get it done at least one more time, probably a couple more though, to be honest, to see if it really does help break up that scar tissue, just to avoid another surgery. The problem with doing another surgery on me is when you go in, you're just going to cause the body to create more scar tissue. And my problem is my body makes too much scar tissue. So if we can prevent another surgery and just blast the scar tissue I have away with sugar water, it's most likely better for me than opening me up again, cleaning out all the scar tissue, because more scar tissue will just form, and it's just like this repetitive cycle. So I'm looking forward to having that procedure done again. I hate that that clinic is so busy. Because our healthcare is all public, the waits are always just incredibly long. There's not enough services for everybody. So he couldn't get me in for at least 3 months, which is a little unfortunate. It just kind of delays, right, decisions and stuff. But I'll have that done in October, which is coming fairly quickly. And I'm also going to ask, I don't know if they can do it in my neck too. I've been having an awful time with my neck. Most days, I would say my neck is almost more disabling, because I can't do anything but sit with it supported, you know, in a chair. I can't hold my head up very long without it straining out those muscles, and then those muscles freak out, and just the stiffness and pain that my spine feels. I get this awful pressure migraine that nothing helps, and it's just, again, another vicious cycle in the head and the neck. But, you know, it's almost the pressure that's worse than the pain, because that pressure, it's like, I don't know, if you think of your worst hangover you ever had. I remember mine, and I woke up when my head was just, felt like it was going to explode. That's what it feels like, and it can feel like that. Like yesterday I had one, at time of filming, yesterday I had one, and the entire day I had to be locked in the darkness. I had all the blinds shut. I had to have all the noise down, like volume of things down. I couldn't do much. I had to have sunglasses on in the house, even though I had the blinds closed. It's just the pressure. I just could not get it to relieve itself. And I don't know. I do have some herniated discs. I've had one herniated disc operated on. I know I have another level that herniated after that. My last MRI was over a year and a half ago, so I kind of want to get another one. It's really hard, though, to get imaging in Canada because, I don't know, they don't want to image things. See, the problem I find is that there are people who have herniated discs, bulging discs, that have zero symptoms at all. They don't bug them. They don't even know they have them. So they don't like doing imaging because they don't want to find it, because this is just my opinion, and the doctors I've dealt with, kind of their thinking is, well, the pain shouldn't be that bad because other people can walk around with a herniated disc and not feel anything. It's very invalidating, for one, and two, it doesn't change the fact that I'm in excruciating pain most of the time, and the pressure, it's the pressure in my head that's debilitating. You know, I find great that people can walk around with herniated discs and they don't bother people, but my herniated discs do. And the last herniated disc I had, when the surgeon went in there, he was shocked at how awful it looked in there. And the part of the disc that is supposed to be a gel actually was calcified into a rock. So I basically had this huge rock in between my vertebrae and my neck. And that's why I was at the time having such bad headaches, pressure. I also had that awful pressure feeling all the time, the stiffness. So the symptoms that I had with that first herniated disc, they got really bad within a year. I'm feeling those same things now. And the one doctor I deal with, he kind of, I honestly don't like him. If we could switch doctors, I would. But in Canada, you really don't have that luxury most of the time. You get what you get, and if you get somebody who's not that great, then it's kind of like too bad, so sad. He does do the procedures that help me, so that I'm grateful for. But I'm somebody who, if there is a surgery that potentially could fix things, I want the surgery. You know, I trust in our medical professions. Most of the surgeries I've had have had some benefit. And when I had my first herniated disc removed, the relief I felt as soon as I woke up was just amazing. And for 6 months, it was pure bliss. I remember I had never felt so good in my entire life, you know, and then I herniated another disc. We don't know why I herniate discs. I'm young and healthy. Well, I guess I'm not healthy anymore, but I'm young and there's no traumatic instances. I live a very safe life now, you know, in terms of preventing injuries and that sort of thing. I'm very careful. So we don't really know why I herniated discs, but I do. So I'm kind of struggling with that in advocating for myself. You know, I really want more imaging. I know that, you know, as other doctors say, some people walk around completely fine. But if you have the imaging that shows a progression in the state of my neck, along with the worsening of symptoms, like you put all those pieces together like a puzzle. And then I would like to be reviewed by a neurosurgeon for their opinion. You know, if they say, you know, it's too risky to do surgery, let's do this, then I'm willing to try it. But I don't know, the one doctor I deal with, he kind of just, you know, he's of different opinion of where I'm like, if there's a surgery that could fix something, I want to try it, because the way I am right now is quite disabling. I mean, I'm basically bed rest. I get out with a wheelchair to take the dog out for walks. Sometimes if my legs feel strong enough, I'll walk with my husband and the dog with a walker, but otherwise I use a power chair to get out with her. I have people in my building, older retired people, who take her for walks as well. And I basically just stay home most of the time on my couch, which is like a recliner. It's like a sectional couch, but it has a high back and the seat reclines and has kind of ergonomic support and stuff, which we had to get for me because my body's so messed up. But yeah, that's the kind of life I live. And, you know, it's taken me quite a few years to be okay with it. But if there's another surgery that could help my neck, I want it, because the last few months, it just seems to be getting worse. I have to wear a neck brace when I go out most of the time, and I can't tolerate really being out of the house for more than 20 minutes unless I wear that neck brace, and the neck brace isn't that comfortable either. So yeah, it's really debilitating. But the reason I went off on that tangent was I'm wondering if there is any scar tissue in my neck as well, that maybe if surgery is not like possible, that he could blast some scar tissue away. Because at the level of where they replace the disc, I do feel, and I felt it around 6 months, which usually indicates scar tissue. When you have a period of relief after surgery and then your symptoms return by like 6 months, it's usually a sign that there's probably some scar tissue there that didn't get reabsorbed by the body. So I'm going to ask him when I see him in October if it's possible. And there's also an area in my forearm where the nerve feels quite compressed, and I know somebody recently who had the same thing. It's called hydrodissection, and she had it on her elbow and her forearm for scar tissue. So I'm wondering if that would solve some of the problems of my hand, because the function of my hand has gone down in terms of grip strength of my left hand and ability to do fine motor tasks with my left hand. So I'm going to see if he can try. A lot of these doctors, they don't want to try because they're scared, but I don't know. Personally, I don't see how anything could get worse than what it already is. So I'm willing to be the guinea pig. If it could help somebody else in the future, then I will be happy to try said procedures. So hoping for that. I did talk to my surgeon a few weeks ago now, probably 3 weeks ago, to check in with him because I was having really bad short of breath. I think that was before, I can't remember now when I had that nerve block done. But anyway, I was really short of breath, and with my oxygen going down to the low 80s when we were out at the lake, I was really concerned. So followed up with him. He's sending me for a test for my diaphragm to see if it's working on the right side. Because of the surgery I had in April, the complication, it partially paralyzed the right side of my phrenic nerve. Phrenic nerve is the nerve that controls our breathing. So that's been paralyzed. It usually takes a year, 6 to 12 months, 6 to 8 months, I think, to heal on its own. Nerves heal very slowly, but it usually does heal in most people. Those people that it doesn't heal in, they can do a procedure where they take your lung and they kind of open it up and suture it back so that the lung will expand more, because the purpose of the diaphragm, it helps expand the lung. So when the diaphragm's not working, the lung can't move, right? So there is a procedure if it is still paralyzed and won't heal, but he wanted to see if it's working. One, because I was still so symptomatic, and two, in case we need to do surgery on the left. He doesn't want to do surgery on the left until my diaphragm is healed, because if he paralyzes my left side too, that would mean I would need to be on a ventilator, a breathing machine, until everything heals. So that's kind of risky. So I'm going for that test in August, which will be nice to see if it healed. Since I've had that intercostal nerve block, I feel like my breathing is actually a lot better. So maybe it is all directly related to pain. I don't know. We will see. But the other problem I have something called central sleep apnea. A lot of people have heard of obstructive sleep apnea. It's when usually your tongue or your throat, the tongue blocks off your airway, or your throat kind of compresses the airway closed when you're sleeping, and it obstructs your breathing. A lot of people use a CPAP machine for that. I have a different kind of apnea that's called central apnea. It originates in the brain, so my brain is not sending the signals to my diaphragm to breathe. It can be caused by medications. It can be caused by lesions in the brain. It can be caused by, I think it potentially could be impacted by that paralyzed phrenic nerve I have, but my numbers have been really high lately. So I did go off one medication that's supposed to help nerve pain, but that one typically for me, it induces central apnea big time, where I stop breathing like 40 times an hour during the night. And that's usually I get 7 hours of sleep a night. And when they say stop breathing, I believe their criteria is apnea more than 10 to 20 seconds long. So they're long pauses, and that happens 40 times an hour. So you're not getting very restful sleep when that happens. But I stopped that medication now. It has to be well over a month, 2 months ago. My numbers had kind of gone back down, but the last couple nights I've been up in the 35, 31 area. So I'm not really sure what's going on. I am on other medications that can cause that, but the thing is there are days that I need more of that medication, and my apnea number is low. It's like 11. And then days like the last 2 nights where I haven't needed much extra medication, and my number's 30. So it's not like it even follows a pattern where you would expect if you need more medication, then your numbers would be higher, right? Mine's kind of the opposite. When I don't need medication, those numbers seem to be high. So I have no idea what is causing it. I have had brain MRIs before because at one point they thought I might have MS, and I didn't have any lesions at the time. That's another thing that can cause central apnea, is lesions in the brain on certain areas of the brain. But that MRI was clear. So the surgeon's sending me to, I think, a respirologist, because they're the ones who deal with it, to figure this out, because we're not quite sure, because it doesn't really follow the pattern that you would expect if it is medication induced. Mine is very kind of all over the place, and it just doesn't make sense all the time. If I am in a deep sleep, the numbers are higher as well. So I don't know if that's just it. When I'm in a really deep sleep, the brain just stops working. I have no idea. But when I do have high numbers like that, where I stop breathing, I'm going to say more than 20 times an hour, I'm usually wake up with a massive migraine, and the day is usually a write-off, and I've been having a lot of those days. So it's been very frustrating. I do wear a CPAP machine, which helps my oxygen level stay good, but it doesn't help the numbers, because again, a CPAP works with obstructive sleep apnea to open the area. My problem's not obstructive. My problem is central. So it's in the brain. So the CPAP doesn't help those numbers. What it does do, it does force air in, and it does keep my oxygen level above 90. So that's kind of why we use it. So yeah, there's been that. There's been a lot going on. And then I have something called dysautonomia, and that is a condition where the automatic nervous system of our body, my body, doesn't work. So that nervous system, it controls breathing, heart rate, blood pressure, digestion, everything that is not controlled by us, right? Everything that's involuntary in the body, that nervous system controls, and mine is broken. So one of the conditions I have because of that is called POTS, where my heart rate, or basically I'm allergic to gravity, and my heart rate just keeps climbing to over 160, 180 when I'm standing. And I'm on a medication to help prevent that, but that medication, for some reason, after my last surgery, it wasn't working as well. My heart rate was out of control again, and it makes me very symptomatic. It also causes shortness of breath, awful dizziness, extreme nausea, and just inability to basically stand. Like I need to sit a lot, use my wheelchair more, use the walker if we go shopping so I can sit whenever I feel like I'm going to pass out. So that's been flared up too, and that really does make me feel really sick. It really does when it's not controlled. So yeah, everything from the past month has just been flared up and angry, and it's left me with very little energy to do much. I have been able to maintain hosting my summer diamond pin along. I've been hosting it mostly in my Facebook group, but I've been doing weekly whip parade videos on my channel. If you've seen those, it's just a video of everybody's whips each week. Just something fun I thought I would do. It's been very, very hard for me to keep up with that, but I have. But it's been extremely hard. I just don't have the energy. But I've been enjoying it. I think that event's really kept me going. It's kept me from feeling too overly depressed due to my health this last while. So I appreciate everybody who's partaking in that event and who's actively participating and making it lots of fun. I really appreciate it, and it's really helped me this summer. So I appreciate all of that. What else? Oh yeah, mid-July, July 14th, we celebrated, well, we didn't celebrate, but we had our 5th wedding anniversary, which is pretty cool. My poor husband, he does so much for me. He's amazing. Without him, I don't know if I'd be here, to be honest. It's really hard being me right now and all this health stuff I deal with. It's really hard. And if I didn't have him, I really don't know how I would do it on my own. I really don't. So I'm very grateful for him. We had our wedding anniversary. We are planning, hopefully next year. I'm hoping next year I'll be well enough that I'll be able to handle a short vacation. We're thinking a cruise. Oh, I really want to go to Hawaii. I've never been to Hawaii, but I can't decide if I want to just go and stay in a nice apartment on the beach and just have a chill vacation that way, or if I want to do a cruise. We've never done a cruise either. We're kind of thinking a cruise might be easier. That way, and it would be better for me. Hopefully wouldn't have to fly. There are some cruises that we can take to Hawaii that depart from Vancouver, though we probably would have to take one flight, either home or two there and cruise home. So either way. Yeah, if you've ever been on a cruise to Hawaii, let me know where you went, what cruise line you sailed with, which one you really liked, where you book through, if you have any good deals, like a site that you find good deals. Let me know all the details in the comments. We're looking at next year. Sometime we get his work schedule for 2024 in October. So once we get that, we'll kind of know when we'll probably take time. Also, what month you'd recommend going to Hawaii. Let me know. Curious what time of year you guys have gone for kind of the best weather. It doesn't need to be hot, but less rain would be nice, right? And we deal with so much rain in BC. I don't really want to deal with it on vacation, but yeah. And then how long a cruise would you say is good for Hawaii? Because I don't know if we'd ever go there again. So, maybe a longer cruise, seeing more islands, but then I also don't know what I'd be able to tolerate. Or again, maybe just going down and staying kind of at somewhere on Maui near the beach and just doing a lazy. We wouldn't be able to do much of the sightseeing stuff because I'm quite limited in my mobility and what I can handle during the day. So like as far as, I know my husband at one point years ago wanted to climb up the big volcano. I think it's in Kona. I could be wrong. Or just Hawaii. I don't know. The big island, I think. That's something I probably couldn't do now unless they have wheelchair accessible things. So that's another thing. If you do deal with a disability or know of any sites to see that are kind of accessible. So if I were to at least take a walker that, I'd be able to manage okay. The walker's not really for, my gait. It's more when I need to sit or I might pass out. And that's worse. So long lineups too, like I can't stand in lineups is notorious. Even at the grocery store, I can't stand in a lineup. It doesn't take very long for my heart rate to climb and I start to feel like I'm going to pass out. So yeah, if you have any info on that, let me know in the comments. Where are we at for time? We're at 40 minutes. I think it's a good point to wrap up because I've just finished off all these fairy dust diamonds on this row. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move over to the table so I can show you guys what I've completed so far. I'm going to lay it out. So hold on a second while we go for a bit of a ride here. Hey guys, as usual, I forgot to talk about the giveaway. So I recently reached a new channel milestone, which was 1,000 subscribers. Thank you everybody who has subscribed and joined me on this journey. I really appreciate each and every one of you. And as a thank you, I wanted to do a giveaway. This giveaway, I'm going to draw 2 names. They are going to win a $25 gift card to a licensed diamond painting shop of the winner's choice. And to enter, you need to use the keyword in a sentence in the comment section. So don't just write the word and that's it. I need you to use it in a sentence. That helps keep out bots and other things. So the word I'm going to use is diamond. That's all I can think of this early in the morning. So use the word diamond in a sentence and that will get you an entry into the drawing for one of the gift cards. Again, 2 gift cards, $25 each, to a licensed diamond painting shop of the winner's choice as a thank you for subscribing and celebrating 1,000 subscribers, reaching that milestone recently. So good luck to everybody. I will make note of the comment section and close it when they slow down. It'll probably be open 48 to 72 hours before I choose a winner, which I will then put up a winner video after that. So good luck to everybody, and let's continue on with the Wip and Chat. Here she is. So we got a little bit of the sun coming through. So we are kind of at the halfway point. Yeah, about the halfway point of this one. I've had a lot of fun so far blinging this one out. I actually hurt my finger. It's not the nice, it's a blister that I had because I wanted to go back in and pop some of the diamonds out of these 2 flowers. And in doing so with the tweezers, I created quite a sore blister on my finger. But let's show you what I've done so far. So up here, they had this kind of mustardy color in this area that I really didn't like. So I switched them out to yellow crystals. And then the middle of these flowers, I have some crystals there you can kind of see. They just are a little bit more sparkly. And then in the middle here, this green, I just added some accents. I have some crystal ABs too, and then just some plain crystals. And then that little flower in the middle, I put red crystals around the outside. I think it turned out pretty good. I actually went through here and popped all these off too. I had the regular DMCs down, but I didn't like them. I wanted to add something more. So I popped off all these kind of filigree along with the inner parts of these flowers, and that's what created the blister. But these flowers, I added crystal, they're crystal ABs to the kind of lines of the flower petals, and then there's some glitter drills right in the middle. You can kind of see there, these kind of glitter drills have like gold sparkle on them. They're very different than the fairy dust diamonds from Diamond Art Club. And then in the birds, I blinged her out with lots of pink. Her beak is 2 different shades of yellow. And then in her wings, there's ABs were already charted, and then I added some crystals. So here's a close-up of her head there. I like how her beak turned out. And then all through here, there are crystals. And down in her tail, there will still be some blue crystals. I might actually, now that I'm looking at it, I might go back and pop out these pink. Maybe I'll leave it. Yeah, I might leave it. I don't want to get another blister. I actually also popped off, I had put crystals in here and here, but I didn't like how they look. Just the way that flower is rendered, it didn't look very good. So I popped the crystals out and put the regular diamonds back in. Also, the outline of the leaves is a green crystal, and then I went back and popped out the veins in the middle and changed those to dark crystals. And then you can see there's white fairy dust in the middle there. Then you can see at the top too, all that white is the fairy dust diamond. It's really hard to capture it in camera, but they're just so gorgeous, especially when the sun shines on them. And then this is the row I just finished. So blinging out this center here, all the yellow, and then the top. I've left the middle. I've added some, I'm gonna add some pink glitter drills in the middle. So these glitter drills you can see are very different. And yeah, so that's it so far. This is what I have left to do. I guess it is a little more than half, maybe. There we go. There we go. So that's what I have left to do. I'm having a lot of fun on this one. I wish I could work on her more. I just have to be careful. Can only do so long in a day. Otherwise, I end up in a pain crisis in my arm and my neck. So I have to go slow. One row has taken me maybe about 3 days or so, whereas I used to do 1 row a day. So it does take me quite a long time. All this white down here will go fast because it's more color blocking. But the majority of this canvas is it's the confetti that I like, where you can still use a multi-placer. So it's been a joy to work on it, honestly. I'll be sad when it's over for sure, but I plan on blinging out the rest of this, of course, and then this flower. I'll probably change the red here to a crystal. I'll add some crystals in the blue down here too, because there's some yellows that came in this kit that I really don't like. This one too, so I'm gonna bling all those out. These two I'll leave alone again because they look funny if you switch them out just the way that they're rendered, because they're so small. And then these red ones, I'll probably do the outside with some crystals, and then inside they already have ABs charted. So yeah, super, super happy with how it's turning out so far. Let me flip her back over. There she is. So let me know what you're working on this week. I'd love to hear from you guys what diamond painting you're working on. And let me know how you're doing, how you're holding up, how your summer's going. Don't forget, if you've been on a cruise to Hawaii or have any traveling tips for Hawaii, let me know. Or even another warm destination that you've cruised to that you would really recommend. Let me know. We're open to going anywhere. I think out of our cruise port in Vancouver, BC, I think there's ships that go to the Caribbean too. I could be wrong. They do go to Alaska. I'm not too keen on going to Alaska. I've been to Alaska camping for 2 months all the way up through Alaska, so I'm not really keen on doing a cruise. I'd rather go to a sunny destination or one I haven't been to before. So let me know all the details. Otherwise, until next time, happy diamond painting. Bye.